right, guys, welcome back to the Buck Fever podcast. You're here with Noah and Jake again this week. We do have some guests coming up in the works here. There's 3 or 4 guys that we're going to be trying to get lined up here over the next couple of weeks to get through the summer. So we're going to have some more guests for you coming up, but it'll just be another quick one here today with me and Jake. And we got a couple of good topics here to talk about. First of all, we were able to get Jake out on the boat. What was it, last weekend or something, buddy?
2 weekends ago, I think.
2 weekends ago. Yes, yeah, you're right. And we did a little bit of fishing. How did you feel about that?
Well, I woke up the next morning. I'm like, man, my wrist hurts really bad. It's because I haven't fished in so long. My wrist isn't used to reeling in.
How long has it been?
Oh, like on a boat, probably 10 years.
And you
And
usually,
it was
yeah,
sooner than that, but
right, doing more.
that kind of fishing isn't like fishing at Optimus Park.
No, no, it's definitely not. Yeah, fishing for bass and northern, so pretty much casting and reeling the whole time, and sometimes reeling some heavier baits through some weeds, whatever. It'll get to you. What about the sun?
Oh, that was pretty brutal. I mean, I got away unscathed for the most part. Face got a little burnt, had the raccoon eyes because I was wearing sunglasses and my hat backwards, so I had a funky tan line for a little bit. But Gabby, I think, got the worst of it.
Yeah, she got it really bad. She was a trooper though. She made
Yeah.
it through.
Well, it was weird because we were wearing sweatshirts and stuff in the morning, and it was chilly, and then all of a sudden just got hot out of nowhere. So
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was like really nice in the morning, like you said. Like you could be in a sweatshirt and be totally comfortable. It was perfect. And that was without too much of a breeze, so it wasn't like super choppy either. It was just like perfect. And then, yeah, like you said, clouds kind of moved out of the way and it got really, really brutal out there. And the fishing wasn't really that great either, if we're being honest.
no, it's not like we didn't try. We were all over the place.
Yeah, we scoured the lake. I think Ben caught a decent sized bass, average sized, and that was really about it. We tried a bunch of different things. We had some that possibly were bites that we missed, possibly. Nothing
Yeah.
nothing super spectacular out there, but it was just more of a
Oh,
go for fun kind of hangout sort of thing. It wasn't any serious sort of fishing trip or anything, but it was
right.
it was a good day.
We were out there from like 9 to what, 2, 9 to 3,
Yeah, something like that.
4 maybe. I don't even know. I bet you I casted 400 times.
It was a lot. Well,
Maybe not that much, but it seemed like a
it
lot.
might have been that much. It was a lot. Well, if we can get in on a good lake, better spot, better timing, will you go again with us?
Oh yeah, for sure. It
All
was
right.
definitely fun. I like being out on the boat and stuff.
Good. Good. Yeah, it was a good time. And that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. We're going to be taking
Oh, that's
off.
right. You're going up there.
Yeah, we're taking off the next couple of days, heading up to the lake house.
Oh, you off tomorrow?
Yeah,
Lucky duck.
I know. So I'm taking off the next couple of days, and we're going to make the trek up there and kind of have a big fishing weekend. So that should be, in all likelihood, the next video to come out. Some fishing content from up north, which
Yeah,
is always
right.
good. We always catch plenty of fish, and I've heard some good things coming out of that lake this year. Some of the northerns, I guess, are getting pretty big, and they're catching a lot of them.
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, it's good to hear. But we'll be we'll be back with that, I guess, next week. No, the week after. We'll have that video coming out. So stay tuned for that. We're not done fishing yet this year, but as much as we love doing that to kind of pass through the summertime, it's still really, I think every day we're pretty much thinking about deer hunting. Um, and I know when it comes to trail cams and stuff like that, it just totally it really makes it a daily thing because you're getting pictures all the time, right?
It's bad. Like, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is look at my phone and see what pictures we have or if anything new came through. Like, don't even check anything else. It's the first thing I go to.
Right? Yeah, and do you get like a little preview?
Well, so mine comes through iMessage, which is and they basically just come like a picture. So like if I sent you a picture, I mean you could, like show your face and then it'll show you the message type thing.
Yep.
See that it's a picture, but I don't know, it's hard to make out. Like if it was a buck up close, I'd be able to see it and make it out. But half the time I just go so quick and click on it, I don't even look.
I know with our spy points, we get little like previews, and so when I wake up and all I see is does, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll go check it out, scroll through, whatever. But that night or that morning that I wake up and I see it, a buck's been there overnight, it's like, oh boy, yeah, I'm going to that
Yeah,
first thing for sure.
it's pretty bad. I think all of ours are dying though, because we got to put our solar panels up, and we're just getting tons of pictures right now, so it's just eating the batteries. So that's what we're doing this weekend. We ordered all those solar panels, so we're gonna throw them up there and pour some concrete for the guy, and then we're also gonna try and plant. So I might. You got any GoPros or anything? And are you swinging through town? Because I might need some. It's not no big deal. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be swinging back through town, I don't think, but I found our third one again.
yes, where was it?
Well, here's the deal. I had it the whole time. Okay, but you know how Eli's got his GoPro, right?
Yeah.
And he puts like the thing around the outside with the microphone and the protective case
Yep.
and the big lens on it.
Yep.
Well, he put all that on one of our GoPros. So
Oh.
I just assumed that was his GoPro until I took it out of all of that and saw that it was a GoPro Hero 9, and I don't think his is a 9. I'm pretty positive his was a little bit older.
Oh, that's funny.
So I'll have to check with him, but I think that's our GoPro. So I think I found it.
Oh, sweet. I knew
Yeah.
we didn't lose it again.
No, we couldn't have lost it again. So I think that's our GoPro, so I guess that's good, but yeah, I I don't think I'm going to be swinging back through, but it sounds like you've got quite a bit of stuff going on this weekend.
Kinda, yeah. Well, I gotta work now on Saturday morning, but I'll probably go up after for sure. I'm not working too long, so
Are you planting everything?
I don't know. I I don't really know if I want to go up there next weekend. I kind of want to let it settle down after we plant for a while because I've been up there quite a bit. But I might see if we want to plant this weekend, and I don't know. I just got to rip them up one more time, more like just disc them so they're ready, and then we're gonna plant. And we drag them, and that's pretty much it for us. And hope for rain. But the problem is, if you look at the forecast, it's like no rain at all and 90 degrees. So
Right.
next week, yeah, 88, 92, 93, 87. It's like kind of hard to plant when you got that much rain coming through. So I don't know. Either this weekend or next weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with us going to the lake this weekend, we're not going to be planting. But my grandpa was out a couple days ago getting them cut up one more time. So I think he's going to till it probably when we get back from the lake, and then that'll give it a few days to sit, and then we'll probably try to plant that following weekend. I think it's like the 28th or something.
Yeah, 29th.
Yeah.
Or something.
Oh, yeah, 29th and 30th right there at the end of July. That's what we're shooting for, and hopefully there's a little bit of rain in the forecast by then, because we're going to try and get everything planted, get some fertilizer out, go through all that, and then I think in another 3 to 4 weeks after that, we're going to fertilize it again, and then top dress our peas and oats with rye grain to add a little bit of extra into the winter. So
that'll be nice.
Yeah, so we'll probably try and get back at the end of August, give or take, and then hopefully give it 3 solid weeks, maybe 4 before opening day, and call it good.
Yeah, we're gonna for sure gotta get that corn in. It's getting late, but I don't really care. I want to try it, and The other plots, I'm a little, I don't know. If there's no rain, it's kind of hard for me to go out there and plant, but I don't want to wait too long because, season will be here in like what, 2 months? Maybe less than 2 months.
Yeah, it's always tough, but that rain is just so important, especially when you're planting, any of the brassicas or peas and oats or things like that. You got to have that rain.
Right.
So it definitely makes it tough, but we'll just have to do our best, I guess. Are you seeing on your trail cameras any contenders showing up yet?
We got some good candidates. I don't know how there's some decent ones. We got some time left. I can send you some pictures quick. There's one for sure that I would think is going to be a shooter, and then there's some debatable ones, but it's also early, so.
Yeah, I know we haven't really seen too many bucks showing up so far, which they say is a good thing. I looked back through our pictures from last year, and I noticed that really the shooter bucks that we had throughout the season didn't start showing up until like July 20 something. So it's the 19th as we're shooting this. So we're coming up on that time, but I'm not going to get too worried about it until August starts to roll around, and then we'll see. We had one back in May or June, early June, I think, that looked like it was going to be a good one. And then we had one show up a couple nights ago that I think is going to be pretty decent. I can't quite tell yet. It was just at night. We only got two pictures of him. Neither one was really great. It kind of looks like it might be a 2.5, but it also looks like it might be Rose from last year, in which case he would be a 3.5. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So what are the pictures I'm looking at here that you sent me?
Um. Well, there's that one that's a 10. That one's probably the contender. He's in the right corner. I don't know. He's got a lot to do yet, but a lot of time. And there's those two wider ones. I don't know. That one in the dark looking head on, he's pretty wide already. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that 10. He looks good. Do you recognize that deer?
No, surprisingly. But doesn't mean he couldn't have been an 8 last year.
Right.
Well, actually, I found that matching set laying in the 2 acre. Was that a 10?
I don't know.
They were laying right next to each other. When was that?
I don't.
That was a 10. Maybe that's him.
It could be.
Yeah, he's got some good. I'm looking at that picture right now. I bet you that is him.
Huh.
That's pretty funny.
Well, that's good to know that he's kind of sticking around in the area then.
Yeah, assuming that's him, which is there's a pretty good chance it is. But hopefully, if I kill him this year, then we can just look right at the sheds.
Right? Are you seeing a lot of does showing up still?
Oh gosh, tons of them. Tons of does and tons of fawns. You could go sit at this one stand and probably shoot a doe any time of the day.
Jeez.
I mean, they're there all the time.
Yeah, I know you always try and shoot a bunch of them, and then sometimes you're like, man, we shot a lot of does. I don't know if this is going to be good. And then we had a lot die over the winter, but then every now and then we'll go driving around out there and we'll see no less than 1,000 deer. And then you're like, yeah, I don't feel so bad anymore. We got to keep getting rid of them.
Yeah, well, it's just like they just get revived again. It's just this year is there's a ton of fawns, which is kind of rare. I mean, we have fawns, but this year there's like groups of 3 and lots of 2s. Usually it's like 2s and 1s, but there's a lot of fawns around, which is good.
We've got one doe that must be, I don't know, 14 years old, that she has a pair of fawns every single year. For as long as I have hunted this property, she has a pair of fawns and hangs out there all summer, every single year.
How do you know it's her?
I'm just guessing, but it seems like her.
Well, that's a fair statement.
She never leaves. She's there year round. So
Oh,
it
okay.
just seems like it's not like she leaves at a certain point. She's just like always there. So it just seems like that would be her because she'll keep the kids even once they lose their spots, and they go on through the season. They're still gonna travel in a pack of three.
Right.
So I don't know. It seems like it's her. I mean, maybe it's just different fawns throughout or different does throughout the years that always have a pair of fawns. I don't know, but there's just
I wouldn't tell me because if she doesn't have a reason to leave, she's not gonna leave. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, she's producing more deer for us, I guess, but kind of want to turn over a new leaf at a certain point and get some other does in there. Make it
well, they
new
say
deer.
that um, if the mom has a, I don't know how true this is, but if the mom has a buck fawn, the buck will leave if the mom's still alive or around because they don't want to breed with their mom, which it makes sense. But wouldn't they be able? I don't know. I think they would be able to tell that that it's their mom's, but
Yeah, I don't know
eh,
how that works. I don't know if it's just a scent thing they can tell, or maybe they can't tell and that's why they leave because they're like, I'm not going to be able to tell, but I don't want to do it, so I got to leave so that it doesn't happen on accident. I
right.
don't.
That's just what I heard.
I've heard it
So
too, and I mean it makes sense. So there's got to be some way that they can figure that out. And
right.
yeah, I've had that internal thought process going on too, but it's kind of hard to shoot a doe if her fawns are still around with it. So you kind of have to wait. At least I don't know. You almost got to wait till gun season when they lose their spots and they're grown up and they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen, but it is what it is.
They always find another one, which sounds sad, but it's not like they get orphaned or something like that.
Right. Well, it's something I think we should all maybe talk about because I've had this thought too, and I think it could be a good podcast topic. But I don't think that deer necessarily care about each other in the way that humans care about each other. There's
Yeah,
just there's very little evidence to suggest that deer like have the same feelings about their siblings or parents or offspring as humans do. Like bucks make kids and they're not around for it. They don't care. Bucks
right,
will breed every doe in the area. They don't like bucks don't feel any connection to any other deer, and even does and fawns. I don't. I mean, when fawns are young, obviously they're relying on the doe to take care of them and help them survive. But I don't. I think that that's just the doe that helps them survive. I don't think they think of that as like their mom.
right.
So I don't know. I think we put more emotion into it than the deer actually feel, but I don't know. I don't know how we would figure that out either. But um, are you doing any like scouting, driving around at all this summer?
Haven't yet. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. On the way home from Alabama this weekend, I saw the biggest deer ever in my life off the highway in Milwaukee.
No way.
Yeah, right over by I think it's Kenosha when they're coming off or like coming from Illinois, Chicago area,
Yep.
and yeah, dude, just $3 out in this field, or out right by a oak tree. Biggest deer I've ever seen.
Well,
Just
did
mon.
you mark it on Onyx?
I was driving like 80 miles an hour, and I couldn't really go on my phone.
Was Terry around?
He was, but I didn't really think of it.
Oh
I
my
bet you I could
gosh.
find it. No, if I find the road, I could find it because there's only one tree on that road
There's
or on
only
the
one
highway.
tree.
I'm serious.
Well, go and find it and let's drive back there someday and find that buck.
Dude, it was a stud.
There's some big
Like,
ones in this.
massive.
Yeah, like the southwestern side of Wisconsin gets a lot of clout because there are some really giant deer over there. But the southeastern side too, you don't want to sleep on it. There's some giants over by Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, and this was a suburb, and
Uh huh.
well, kind of, but it's huge.
Yeah, it can be unbelievable what they can produce out here. I know we've driven around a little bit and we've spotted some that are pretty nice bucks. Um, it's kind of a a game to figure out which route to take and like what time to do it all. It can be a little bit challenging to really maximize depending upon what you're really trying to look for, you know?
Right. That's kind of getting back to your question. Um, we obviously scout over by where I hunt. I went up there a few times that night, and you get a nice Friday night when the sun's out. It's just pretty good time to be out there. We obviously target lots and lots of bean fields or alfalfa or clover, whatever they got out there, which isn't really prominent by us, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's mostly corn and beans. You got your occasional hayfield, but the beans is just it's insane. And Noah was saying like he wasn't really joking about 1,000 deer a night. Like that's not really uncommon to see that many deer if we drive around for 2 hours or an hour. Right at that prime time from 6 to 7:30 when they're out is there's a lot of deer and uh, we've seen some really good ones, which obviously gets the blood pumping. And they're not even that close to our property. They could be 5-10 miles away, but we do see some good ones too around by us, but just seeing those deer and seeing how big they can get is what really drives you and keeps you going, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. So do you usually drive around looking more like for fun, or do you try and hone in on your core area there, like maybe a mile in each direction to try and figure out what the bucks look like in that area specifically?
Well, I don't. Well, I would say a little of both. Mostly, don't spend too much time driving around by us, just because we got all those trail cameras out, so it's kind of like we kind of know what's around there, and if there's anything within a few miles and it comes by, we'd probably see it or it will make its way in there. So we'll venture out just because. I guess depends if we're not seeing much, we'll stick around or go sit out in the gun stand. But if we know what's around, I like to go around 5-10 miles in that area and just see some absolute studs. I mean, last year we saw some big deer,
Yeah, we
and
did. Yeah.
that's pretty fun to me. I'm not even knowing that we can't hunt them, but just a chance, like yeah, maybe they'll make it over. I mean, deer will do anything. That's 5 miles really isn't that much, I guess, for a deer. So
Yeah, it's fun just to see that they exist and just that they're out there for sure. But like if you
yeah,
saw one this year start popping up that like really caught your attention and was really big on your trail cameras, would you take any time at all to sit in a gun stand or like just drive around maybe in that area and try and really figure them out beyond the trail cameras?
yeah, I thought about that. If we do, I guess it depends how consistent he is. Like, if he's on there every day, I'm probably not gonna go sit in the stand just because I don't need to bump him already. But if he's, every twice a week or once a week or something like that, I'd probably go around, drive around, and see which properties, if he's hanging out at the neighbors or if he just comes our way every day or the same. If he comes like every Wednesday or well, not that that matters, but like once a week, every week type of thing.
Right. Because I think the early season is just the best time to try to really get them locked down in a pattern.
Oh, for
And
sure.
they when they're out in those fields, they can just be so visible. So if you kind of figured out where they were coming from or going to, you could kind of figure that out before the season even starts. I think it really gives you an advantage going into the season then.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we stop and look at turkeys or deer, and they run. But for some reason in the summer, I feel like they don't. Like, we've pulled up, and that one time we were sitting there looking for like 20 minutes, just sitting on the side of the road with deer on both sides of us, and they didn't care at all.
Yeah, for some reason, like you said, in the summertime, they just seem like they're less bothered by it. I don't know, like, because like you said, when you are driving around, it's like when you slow down, that's what gets them.
Yeah, right.
Like if you just drove by at full speed, they don't care. But if you slow down, that's the thing that they're like, "Hey, wait a minute," and then they just take off. But in the summertime, just driving around here, even if we're not looking for deer, we're just like driving to go out to eat or something, and we see a deer on the side of the road. We can literally stop, roll down the window and like talk to it, and it'll just look at us and won't move.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they don't care in the summer, and then as soon as September hits, they know. They're like, oh yeah, we should probably go run.
Yeah, I don't know if they just feel the pressure so much that then they just decide they're going to run from anything and everything just to be safe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm glad that they don't run.
Yeah, right. Makes it a little bit easier to look at them. Yeah, I don't know. We've got one over here that supposedly is a piebald that is really big. Was really big last year and supposedly made it through. I haven't seen him yet, but I've heard some stories about him and potentially kind of the area that he's in. So we might have to try and go looking for him at some point. See if we can get on him. That sort of thing is kind of
Well, remember
rare.
we had one by us. We saw him. You didn't. I did. It was just that it was a not a buck, or it was I think it was just a year and a half doe. But we did lay eyes on him that one time. At least I did.
Yeah, I know.
But
Well, did you have it on camera or did you just see it and hear
well,
about
you
it?
had the remember. I never had it on our trail cameras, but
Okay.
uh, that's when we were driving around that one time and we seen him. But I do want to go see if we can see that piebald buck. I think that would be sweet.
Yeah, he's got like I saw a picture of him. Maybe it's just one off the internet. I don't know, but if it's him, he's got super dark chocolatey antlers, and I mean now he'd be in velvet, so that'd be a really really cool buck.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Hmm. Well, I don't know how it's all gonna shake out, but after the fishing video, maybe we could try and work out something like that to get a scouting video out again this year. I know last year our scouting video was pretty legit. We saw some really, really, really nice bucks on that trip.
Right.
So if that's something that anybody's got any interest in checking out, I would definitely recommend that one because, like you said, it just kind of gets the blood pumping. You know, we're still trying to get through July here, but it's with the trail camera pictures coming through and everything. It's like it's go time, man. We're excited.
All right. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think about it every day and try and strategize and watch videos and figure out, take in all the information I can so that we're going to be ready for it on opening day. And then when that rolls around, we're going to be in the woods just about as much as we possibly can be.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
I know. Well, I think that's a good half hour there. We can wrap this one up. We had a video come out this week on how to set up a mock scrape. That's a good video to watch. It's something that is pretty easy to do, and you really should do it. That people say you should have one at every stand. We don't have that, but we have a couple of them out and about, and it's something that for the longest time we just thought like, man, how could this possibly work? I just don't get it. It just seems like any old stick hanging out in the woods, but it really does. It really works. You're gonna get a lot of good pictures on your trail cameras if you set these up, and it can give you some easier shots at deer in your tree stands. If you have them set up properly. And that's really the key. If you don't know how to set it up or you watch a video but it's not super detailed on how to do it, this one is a little bit more detailed without being too long. So it's just got some good things to think about, some good tips in there. So you should definitely check that one out if you haven't already. And we've got some other stuff coming up in the works. I know we've been talking a lot about new merch, some stuff that's beyond our logos, some really exciting artwork and other types of things that are going to be coming out here. There's possibly some other hat stuff that could be in the works, some new developments with that. So just a lot of exciting stuff coming up here for the rest of the summer, and then it's going to be deer season before you know it. So we're just going to keep putting out this content. Like I said, we're going to try and get a couple of guests lined up here for the rest of the summer. Try and keep it interesting, get some other perspectives, some other topics. So I think that'll be really cool. Keep an eye out for a fishing video to come up. Should be pretty exciting, and who knows after that. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time.